Hello everyone and welcome to the GMS Magazine channel. I am Paco Garcia, your host, and today I bring you something that I think it's going to have a little bit for everyone. People love vampires. I love vampires. I wish they were real. I don't think they are. No. And werewolves and were things. Love it. And because they're so fantastic as a resource for role-playing games, the wonderful people of Chivalry and Sorcery Britannia Games have decided to hire an incredibly talented writer like Paul Williams and Andy Cowley to write a supplement for Chivalry and Sorcery called Nightwalkers. But having taken a quick look at it, is this supplement actually worth the amount of money that you have to pay to get your hands on it? Well, I am about to tell you. Welcome to the GMS Magazine review videos. Vampires and werewolves have been, in our folklore for millennia, pretty much. I don't think there is one single culture that doesn't have something similar to a werewolf or a wererat or a were animal. And vampires, they're wonderful. So having a supplement that will cover that for the Middle Ages, which is where Chivalry and Sorcery is based on, makes perfect sense. And that's what we have in here. This is a soft cover book, and yes, it's a print-on-demand book of 86 pages, so it's not huge by any stretch of the imagination, but it's large, it's big enough that it should have all the information we need to have vampires within our game. If you are one of the print-on-demand skeptics, suffer not. Trust me, this is actually very good. The soft cover is soft enough, but it's definitely hard enough, and the binding is brilliant. The printing has become a lot better in the last few years. So you have now really vibrant colors and very crisp and sharp printing, which is lovely. Taking a look at the table of contents, which is what I like doing to make sure you take a look at what we have. We have an awful lot of information, which is something that we are accustomed from Britannia Games, because they have so much info in every single one of their books. That's brilliant. So we have both lycanthropes, were creatures, and then vampires. I'm not going to go into details as to what kind of information this book is going to provide, because it gives pretty much everything for both werewolves and vampires, from mythology, references. We need to talk about this. Okay, I talked about this in my review of the last adventure that they produced. They do this more than once in this book, and this is something I don't like, and I really wish they did something about it. Mixing the imagery with the wording, it just makes it hard for me to read. I don't like it. I really don't like that. It's just difficult to read. One thing as well, by the way, that these people don't do is hold punches. Okay, we start with something really simple, with a fairly innocuous kind of illustration, but soon we go into something a little bit wilder, and then something even wilder, because having a young child protected by what appears to be a pretty fierce wolf, that's quite interesting. And the fact that they cover werewolves from birth, what happens if you're born a werewolf? What happens if you're created or infected by a bite? Plenty of choices in there, and we even go into lycanthropic breeds. So you can be a mongrel among lycanthropes, which would be absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. But okay, they also go into more creatures, like werebears, wereboars, wererats, and of course werewolves, which is very good indeed. Bit of a layout issue in page 16. This table has fallen down. This is something that should have been spotted before going to print. Thank goodness it's something fairly easily solvable in the PDF, so hopefully it will be sorted very, very quickly. The layout is exactly the same as the one that I reviewed in the past with the 2 columns format, which is good enough. There's still some things in the layout I don't like, but you know, this is just a matter of, you know, taste more than anything else. Vampires take the most of the book, I have to say, because they begin on page 26. And the only criticism I have about the content is how many times the diaries and, you know, the journals of Jonathan Harker and Mina Harker are quoted in here. And the only reason that for me this is dissonant is because Jonathan, I mean, this was meant to be 18th century, I believe, when the Harkers were out. So it's a bit... I would have preferred they invented a character from the Middle Ages, even though I understand that the Harkers are, you know, canon in vampiric lore. But I don't know, having quotes about a text from the Middle Ages, from the 18th or 19th century, it feels strange to me, you know. Having Abraham Van Helsing quoted here as well from Dracula's, it's kind of, I don't know, it just feels weird. It feels weird to me. But there is, as you can tell, because I'm not going to go into a lot more detail in this review, there is a lot of info in here about vampires and were creatures, which is great. So we also have some characters, which is good, and magical items, which is even better. I wish the magical items also had some illustrations to go with it. But, okay, and this, my friends, is something I love and we should see a lot more of. We love to have secret societies, which is brilliant. So, do I think this is worth it? Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if you're a fan of Chivalry and Sorcery, you have to have it. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. You know, there are some things that could be improved. I wanted to see a little bit more about Lycanthropes. I don't think there is enough. I want to see more about their organization. I want to see more about, you know, their relationship with druidic orders and with nature, for instance. But other than that, this is pretty good. So I'm going to say that if you are into Chivalry and Sorcery, this is a must-have book. Hopefully the layout issues will be sorted in the not too distant future. But other than that, this is highly recommendable. So go for it. Thank you very much indeed for watching. And leave me your comments down here in the comment sections, please, because I love to hear what you have to say. But until the next time, I will talk to you very, very soon. Take care.